Because lawmakers sign off on expanding medical marijuana licenses for black farmers. That's right, Florida lawmakers for the second year in a row have signed off on expanding the number of medical marijuana licenses earmarked for black farmers, opening the door for 3 applicants who lost out earlier. Expansion of the medical marijuana licenses for black farmers was included in a wide-ranging Department of Health Bill SB 1582 that also addresses such issues as septic tank inspections and screening for newborns and pregnant women. I don't understand why they always include all these extra stuff that goes into bills, because you put a whole bunch of shit in bills when you put them together. So anyways, a provision added to the bill in the last week of this year's legislative session would help at least 3 black farmers who had sought medical marijuana licenses but were deemed ineligible to apply by state officials. Passage of the bill is the latest twist in a drawn-out effort to allow black farmers to join the state's cannabis program, which has exploded in size since voters approved the constitutional amendment broadly authorizing medical marijuana back in 2016. If signed into law by Governor Ron Meatball DeSantis, the bill would bring to 6 the total number of potential lucrative medical marijuana license earmarked for black farmers with ties to decades-old litigation about discriminatory lending practices by federal officials. A 2017 law that provided an overall framework for the industry required health officials to issue a license to black farmers with ties to the litigation, known as the Pigford cases. The law also required prospective licenses to show they had conducted business in Florida for at least 5 consecutive years before applying. State health officials had begun accepting applications for the black farmer license in March of 2022, and 6 months later announced they intended to award the license to Suwannee County-based farmer Terry Donnell Gwynn. All of the 11 other applicants who lost out challenged the decision, including Motion Hopkins. Hopkins was the top scoring applicant, but the 84-year-old Ocala area grower died before the state's decision about the license was finalized. Part of this year's bill, however, appears to clean the path for Hopkins' heirs and partners who have launched numerous legal and administrative challenges in their quest for a license and to have at least one court appeal pending. The bill sets up a 90-day cure period for losing applications that meet certain criteria, including if the applicant died after March 25th of 2022, which was the last day to apply for the licenses. In quotes, in the case of the death of an applicant under this paragraph, the department must issue the license to the heirs of the applicant, the measure says. State health officials deem the application submitted by Hopkins and Hatchet Creek Farms, LLC, of which he owned 51%, to receive the top score in 2022, but they maintained his death put him out of the running. Hopkins' team did not have a comment when asked about the litigation, and Senator Tracy Davis, a Jacksonville Democrat who helped shepherd this year's effort to expand the number of licenses, said the proposed changes would help Hopkins' team as well as Leola Robinson and Henry Crusaw, 2 elderly black farmers who could not meet the state standards to show they had been registered to do business in Florida for 5 years before applying. In quotes, what prompted me to create the litigation that we submitted was those 2 applicants, but I also wanted to make sure this time we didn't leave out Motion Hopkins, Davis told the news source of Florida in a phone interview on Monday. The measure also would prohibit health officials from using the department the death of an applicant who was alive as of February 1st, 2024, but who died in the cure process or legal challenges are complete as a reason to deny a license. That could benefit the heirs and partners of Robinson, a 101-year-old Escambia County farmer who got her start in agriculture in the cotton fields, and Crusaw, a Suwannee County Nanogerian whose business registration also was in doubt. Davis said the provision was included in an attempt to ensure that we had our oldest applicants taken care of, they say. A law passed last year allowed losing applicants from the black farmers license to cure deficiencies in their applications, but Kershaw and Robinson couldn't do anything to meet the requirements laid out by the state health officials, Davis said. Representative Patricia Williams, Democrat from Pompeo Beach, offered the amendment that included the black farmer changes on March 5th, and that amendment bill subsequently passed the House and Senate, and Davis credited Senate President Kathleen Permesio, Republican from Naples, and House Speaker Paul Renier, Republican from Palm Coast, for the success of the proposal. In quotes, "We could not have made it happen without these two agreeing to the amendments," Davis said. If signed into law, the 90-day cure period could possibly open the door to other applicants who lost out in the 2022, according to Davis. Attempts to give black farmers entry into Florida's multi-billion-dollar cannabis industry have been riddled with problems since the inception of the state's medical marijuana program in 2014, when lawmakers authorized non-euphoric cannabis in anticipation of the passage of broader constitutional amendments. Black farmers complained that they were shut out of the applying for the state's original medical marijuana licenses because none of them met the eligibility criteria, which required applicants to have operated as a Florida nurseries for 30 years. The 2017 law setting up the framework for the industry tried to address the issue by requiring a license for a black farmer. However, the license was put on hold several years because of unrelated litigation over the law. When the application process for the black farmer's license was announced in 2021, potential applicants were hit by sticker shock because of non-refundable fee of $146,000, more than double what prospective operators paid in the past. And legal warnings over the denial of Hopkins' application delayed issuance of Gwynn's license, and lawmakers sped up the process last year by passing a measure requiring health officials to issue licenses to black farmers whose applications did not have any identified deficiencies. The 2023 law resulted in licenses for Gwynn and two additional applicants, Shredick McGriff and Willard Meeks, and brought the number of licensed medical marijuana operators in the state to 25. The industry also is poised to nearly double in size as state health officials sift through applications for 22 additional licenses required under the 2017 law, which set up a schedule for new licenses to come online as the number of patients increase. And meanwhile, the Florida Supreme Court is weighing a proposed constitutional amendment that would legalize adult use marijuana for adults 21 and older, and the court has until April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, you guys, to decide whether the initiative qualifies for the November ballot. Well, what do y'all have to say about this? Rico, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this.
Number one, it's quite fitting.
You've got a list.
Yeah,
you have a list. Number one.
That they put this April 1st deadline on there. I think that's an Easter egg in this story. But but seriously, man, this dude died waiting for this legislation. They were supposed to get their shit back in 2016, and they were supposed to be at the front of the list. Like maybe if you're a black farmer, you don't have enough money to just like dump zeros and commas into Ron DeSantis's uprising at the forefront. This is what happens, right? You see, like, oh yeah, we fucked up. It's almost 10 years later. We're gonna give them a license. You know, Trulieve already runs the state. They should have had first cut at all of this stuff, but they were suppressed. And justice is sometimes slow, but justice do what justice. No, fuck that, man. It's a travesty. This played out the way that it has, and it's like way too late. His own descendants won't even get a cut of that license because he died fighting for it, man. So,
well, they said it is getting issued to the heirs of the family, though, Rico.
What's that?
It is getting issued to the heirs of the family, though.
After all this pain, man, why they have
fighting for? Yeah,
it should have been cut and dry. They should have never had any of this stuff go down.
But if I remember,
they've been through all these years watching all these white folks around them just get it right in the cartel state, the medical / industrial cartel state that Florida has become. They just watch all these people get money while they're just blowing all their cash on court fees trying to get what was promised to them. Can't get back them years, man.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Rico, because if I remember correctly, they were only supposed to issue out one of these licenses in the beginning. And now, because of all of this fight and everything, they're issuing out multiple licenses for this. So the fact that it expanded and more people are able to benefit from these licenses, do you think that was worth the fight?
No, because you're diluting their cut, what they were promised. You're still diluting the fair value of what was promised to them initially. Like, why do they have to be the ones that get, that push this out to absolutely everybody? Why can't we be first when we were promised something?
Well, because they wrote that law that's saying they needed to be a 30-year nursery owner in order to get a cultivation license.
They did write that
right.
law. They did write that law.
Right. I mean, that's where it all starts from.
Yeah. That's the Kim Rivers special right there.
To grow weed in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a manufactured monopoly, and a complete exclusion.
Say that again.
So,
I'm saying, didn't they put that 30-year thing in because a politician actually owned the farm, or it was somebody?
Yeah, he went to. Yeah, that's True Leave. That's True Leave.
It was a trick.
True Leave.
That's True Leave, and her husband got federally convicted.
Really?
Yeah, he got federally convicted.
Who wrote that? Who lobbied that? I wonder. They're very good.
That's Kim Rivers and True Leave.
Judging by modern day political newscasting, True Leave, dude that got convicted and everything, that makes him a more relatable person to black people, right? Mm-hmm. Right, Jason?
Oh, I see what you're trying to do there, Rico. I see exactly what the difference. Can I tell you what the difference is? He's not running for president.
Yeah.
All right.
He might be VP. He ain't running.
He ain't running for president. But on that,
they got friction. They got friction with DeSantis now. Trump might come in and scoop him up for VP. I don't know.
DeSantis needs to worry. DeSantis needs to worry about signing this bill first and get this program going for these guys first. That should be his first order of business.
DeSantis is a wild. He's a loose cannon. And after he got wedgied and
I think it's because of his boots.
And swirlied all through this presidential campaign, he's going back.
I think it's
a pissed off little man.
I think it's because of his boots.
We have no idea.
It's because of his boots, Rico.
He's happy.
He keeps those white boots on though.
Yeah.
Dude, those boots are fly, man.
Yeah. We're gonna go to a commercial. We're gonna be right back.
Gotta get me some of those DeSantis ones.
Yeah, I bet DeSantis ones.